Think about what happens the moment a police incident occurs. The files start rolling in, you open up that massive municipal discovery folder, and you start digging through the paperwork. Right at the top, you see the elite high-level directives, and then all the way at the bottom, you see the real-world performance on the street. But if you look closely, right in the middle, hidden in plain sight, there is a massive void. I'm Tom Loglisci, and you are listening to Police Praxis Audio Briefings. In our last briefing, we talked about the Prestige Shield, how a big wall of executive certifications and advanced leadership credentials can sometimes mask a broken institutional framework. Now, let's be entirely clear here. Advanced professional development programs and academic partnerships are incredibly valuable to modern law enforcement. The issue isn't the quality of the education at the top. The real issue is whether that instruction ever actually connects to a verifiable pipeline down at the bottom. You see, because when an institutional system completely separates its official training intent from its operational reality, it creates what I call a data fracture. And a data fracture is the exact point where paper compliance completely shatters. Look, when a crisis occurs on the street, the immediate reflexive response from a municipality is almost always centered on one single premise. This was an isolated incident, a tragic anomaly involving an individual officer who simply drifted from their training. If you're an experienced civil rights litigator, you hear this narrative in almost every single case. It's completely designed to keep your focus locked tightly on the asphalt. But a systems perspective reveals a dynamic that many attorneys overlook. So when you evaluate an institutional framework, you quickly realize that complex organizations don't run on assumptions or good intentions. They run on administrative continuity. And those internal pipelines frequently fracture long before the officer ever steps onto the street. Let me give you a realistic example of what's often hidden inside a massive municipal record. An agency mandates a vital, updated operational curriculum. The command staff authorizes the order. The training directive is filed. But beneath that directive, the administrative alignment is blank. The structural tracking loops are missing, and many other things that need to be addressed. The policy exists in a pristine binder on a shelf, but the operational execution of that training doesn't exist anywhere in the administrative architecture. See, this isn't a matter of a single officer suddenly going rogue on the street. An individual officer doesn't control the department's administrative loops. An individual officer doesn't manage the data infrastructure or the oversight mechanisms. The break in the chain didn't happen 3 seconds before the arrest. It happened months or even years prior when the machine stopped looking. Many litigators exhaust massive resources, fighting exclusively on the defense's preferred battleground, debating a 3-second window of body camera footage. They expect you, the plaintiff attorney, to argue about the mechanics of the physical force. They do not expect you to look past the text and examine the integrity of the police training system. There is far more to a police training system that meets the eye. An elite credential is an investment in leadership. A written policy manual is a statement of intent. But in a complex organization, intent is not evidence of a functioning police training system. When a data fracture is exposed, the isolated anomaly argument loses its anchor because you are no longer just looking at a choice made on the street. You are looking at an institutional infrastructure that left the door wide open. Look past the text, because behind the wall of high-level directive lies a hidden paper trail, one that can completely alter the trajectory of a municipal liability claim. We'll break down this and much more in the next episode. I'm Tom Loglisci. Thank you for listening to Police Praxis Audio Briefings.